So Mega Man 2 was both a critically acclaimed title and a financial success. All that extra work and dedication ended up really paying off, and now Capcom had a successful franchise in their hands. It's only logical to think that the development of the next game in the series wouldn't be as stress-inducing as the last one, especially now that Capcom could see the potential the Mega Man franchise could unleash. Well, according to Keiji Inafune himself, Mega Man 3 ended up being one of the most stressful Mega Man games he's ever created. Deadlines not being met, a new designer not exactly understand what made Mega Man fun to begin with, it just doesn't seem like a pleasant time overall. Despite the game not quite being completed according to the developers, Mega Man 3 was released for the NES in 1990. Well, shit, I mean, with the success of the last game, you would think the developers would have all the time and resources they could possibly need to produce a really good title, but the game was released, and until this review I never actually fully completed it, so I'm curious to see where...
Aloha, Johnny.
I really should have seen this coming. Hello, Clement. To what do I owe this visit?
Oh, not much. But I see that you've been reviewing Mega Man games lately.
Yeah.
And you didn't even invite me, the Mega Man guy.
Didn't you already Let's Play the entire classic series at this point in time?
Yes, I did. And now I'm going to review it with you!
You're crazy.
Says the man who's played Sonic 06 more than once for the internet.
You did a 3-hour review on it!
Oh, like your review was that much shorter.
This is getting us nowhere. You can join me this time, but be warned.
What?
I'm not a Mega Man enthusiast.
Oh, that's fine. Take it away!
It's time to look at Mega Man 3 for the NES.
And there's the second greatest title theme in all of classic Mega Man. Second to Mega Man 2's, of course. But Mega Man 3's soundtrack isn't too shabby, and I wouldn't classify any of its music as forgettable. From Sparkman to that familiar whistle theme... I love this stuff. I don't care if I die over and over again at the same boss, just so long as I get to hear that boss theme roll one more time.
Before I played this for the review, I couldn't give you an opinion on Mega Man 3's music even if my life depended on it, but now I consider it to be pretty sweet stuff. I love Sparkman's theme especially. I don't think the entire soundtrack beats Mega Man 2 overall, but it's a damn fine attempt nonetheless.
By the way, isn't this cover great?
Well, I'm glad to see they're finally getting the anatomy of Mega Man right, but now we have another problem. That fucking face. It's like he's suffering from a severe allergic reaction.
Not to mention he's a dirty fighter. Mega Man just totally shot Sparkman in the dick! If I were Top Man, I'd be buying some protection right now. At least the European box art is fine. And, Christ, Wily!
That's the stuff of nightmares, folks. Dr. Wily is always watching. Now, speaking of him, I guess we should cover the story. Since Mega Man, once again, left Dr. Wily completely alone at the end of the last game, Dr. Wily has since seen the error of his ways and begins to help Dr. like creating a giant peacekeeping robot named Gamma. Hey, just like the robot in Sonic Adventure 1. Oh, if I didn't make that joke, about 200 other people would.
8 robot masters in charge of mining power crystals suddenly start going haywire and begin causing problems for our little blue hero. And if that wasn't bad enough, there's also a new robot in town known as Breakman, who loves to interrupt what you're doing in certain levels to show off his fantastic jumping abilities.
This guy puts up no challenge whatsoever, so why is he here? Mega Man has 8 new robot masters to put in their place, complete with new level designs, new challenges to conquer, and less sprite flickering, though that still happens sometimes. Accompanying Mega Man this time is his new robotic canine companion, Rush, who comes in 3 different flavors, all which you unlock when you defeat certain robot masters. I'm not exactly sure on this, but I think Rush might be named after the rock band itself, which would continue the whole music theming the series is known for, but again, I'm not sure.
Rush is much better than the flat gadgets like Item 1 or Item 2. Who doesn't like Rush? What kid playing Mega Man didn't want a robot dog who could fly in the sky?
I think the item tools you got in Mega Man 2 were fine enough, but Rush is simply awesome, especially Rush Jet. You gotta beat Needleman first to get him, but look at this, you can bypass just about every platform challenge imaginable. This is awesome. Please tell me this becomes a staple in the series.
Well, yeah. But,
Yeah, fuck you, invisible blocks.
I'll let him find out. He doesn't need to know right now.
Fucking love this thing. Mega Man has also seen a new upgrade. No, he still can't shoot in multiple directions, but now he has a new slide maneuver, which is damn essential if you plan on avoiding some of the more tricky robots you'll encounter in some stages.
The nickname might be Jump and Shoot Man, but the slide really became a great part of the character. It helps you move through levels slightly faster, adds more variety to boss strategies, and it's fun to do in a low hallway. All of a sudden, Mega Man acts like he's in a water slide. If he has nowhere to stand, he just keeps on sliding. Look at him go!
Energy tanks are back, and now you're able to carry up to 9 of them instead of 4. You even get to keep them if you manage to lose all of your lives, which is something that definitely would have made some of the more bullshit parts of Mega Man 2 a little more manageable. The 8 levels managed to challenge Mega Man in new ways, especially with the new slide ability by his side, and there's been a noticeable increase in mini-bosses, giant snakeheads, robo-cats with lethal robotic ticks, okay. But despite that, I couldn't help but notice that a lot of these stages felt they were a bit on the short side. I'm not too sure on that though. The new weapons are pretty cool to use too, what do you think?
Magnet Missile's pretty great. It homes in on enemies like the parachute guys in Shadow Man stage, and it's fairly strong. The Search Snake is also fairly useful for grounded enemies and such. It's pretty cool that...
Hey, what the fuck? It's just passing by the little shit. Come on. What the hell?
Just wait until they jump and then shoot.
And what's going on? I mean, they can just close their eyes and ignore projectiles? And why the hell does the top spin suck so much? I mean, yeah, if you aim it properly, you can take down Shadow Man with no problem, but I can't do damage unless I end up damaging myself. What kind of shit is that?
Other than that, Spark Man's weapon is okay, nothing special, you shoot a spark. Needle Man's okay, you shoot a needle. Hard Man's too slow for me. Gemini Laser, you leave yourself open if your shot misses, and I'm not big on that.
Yeah, me neither. You can't even pause the game when it's bouncing on the walls like that. Well, that's the last Robot Master, now what?
Doc Robots.
Doc who? What's this about?
Well, John, do you remember how you went through Shadow Man, Spark Man, Needle Man, and Gemini Man stages?
Yeah?
Well, now you get to do them again!
Huh?
Sure, the levels aren't exactly the same. Ooh, this time they added spikes to the walls in Shadow Man stage. This is totally worth replaying! In each revisit, you have to face Doc Robot a total of 2 times for each stage, making that a grand total of 8 encounters.
Is that Airman?
Yep. Doc Robot also copies the movesets of all the Robot Masters from Mega Man 2. And it's up to you to figure out what their new weakness is, since they don't have any of your old weapons from the last game, and... Or, you know, you could just die.
I'm pretty sure I'll just respawn right next to them. I'm at the beginning of the stage? What the fuck?
Yeah, Doc Robot stages are pretty lacking in the checkpoint department. You get one after you defeat the first Doc Robot, but I seriously hope you have the energy tanks to spare if you don't want to run across the entire stage again if you lose to the second Doc Robot encounter.
Not to mention, Doc Robot is a lot harder to avoid than the original Robot Masters. It's almost impossible to judge when he's going to throw the leaf shield when he's copying Woodman, and a robot of his size should not have the speed of Quickman. It's good to see that Mega Man 3 isn't as short as the likes of Mega Man 2 or 1, but I don't think this was the right way to extend gameplay time.
And look, the Mega Man 2 Robot Masters were great, but now I have to learn an entirely new weakness chain. See, I don't have Airman's weapon anymore, so what's Crash Man weak to now? Is it Search Snake? Magnet Missile? It's more memorization for bosses who won't return in the final area of the game. This part just wasn't necessary at all.
There we go. Did I beat the game?
Nope. You still got Breakman to deal with.
What's this guy's deal? He's doing the exact same shit as previous encounters. Why is he here? It's almost like he's a distraction.
Egads! While you were busy fighting Breakman, Dr. Wily snuck off with Gamma.
Oh, for the love of... I really should have seen that coming. In addition to Doc Robot stages, now I gotta deal with Wily Fortress stages. Fantastic.
Don't worry about the Wily levels, John.
Why is that?
Just keep playing. You'll see.
Wow, Wily sure is feeling generous with the pickups and level design. Rush Jet allows me to completely ignore stage hazards and the like. Look at this, the stages are just giving me energy tanks. I guess the developers are feeling pretty bad about the whole Doc... Fucking Yellow Devil! You lied to me, asshole!
Oh, stop being a crybaby. You don't have a pause glitch anymore, but it doesn't matter. This is Mega Man 3. You have tons of energy tanks, and this boss moves much slower than he did in the first game.
Oh, you're right. This is pretty simple.
This is by far the easiest final castle in any Mega Man game. Some levels go by really quickly, and I'd say you don't need the 6 or so energy tanks this castle generously gives you. In the first boss fight, you have to dodge a very slow turtle underwater while currents push you around. Not hurt you, push you. Oh man, watch out for that very slow small turtle! This is no Mecha Dragon. The bosses are pretty simple, the levels are really short. But hey, at least there's no turret boss. I hated the turret boss in Mega Man 2.
At last, Dr. Wily, which thanks to RushJet is a total pushover. You know, I'm beginning to think this is the result of the incomplete development cycle. Dr. Wily falls, and son of a bitch, a fake!
Which doesn't really mean much, because after one last healthy helping of E-tanks and weapon energy, seriously? You fight the real thing, now inside the body of Gamma.
Holy shit, look at the size of this thing. How do we even begin to approach something like this?
And you'll never believe what his weakness is.
The top spin is his weakness?
Yeah, I don't get it either.
But why?
Oh look, Dr. Wily is begging for forgiveness again. Please forgive me!
Unfortunately, the place begins to collapse around the two with a piece of debris knocking our hero out, as well as Wily. A shadowy figure, looking very much like Breakman, suddenly appears and manages to rescue Mega Man from the collapsing building, leaving Wily completely in the dust. Oh boy.
Mega Man soon wakes up in Dr. Light's lab, where Light tells our hero that Breakman's distinctive whistle sounds an awful lot like another robot he built, known as Protoman. And sure enough, during the credits, we see that Breakman was actually Protoman, a prototype robot designed by Dr. Light and the brother of Mega Man. Oh, and in Japan, Protoman is actually known as Blues. Because music reference.
Okay, so what now?
Well, clearly the day is saved. Now they can go get some Taco Bell and call it a day.
No, fuck, look, there's Wily's ship. That can only mean another game. Dr. Wily, I guess out of anger from his latest defeat, decides to build a time machine to travel back to the past and fix the mistakes he once made. Hence, Mega Man, the Wily Wars.
Wait, is that an American copy of Wily Wars?
Why, yes it is.
Well, being a Mega Man nerd, I know this is bullshit because Wily Wars only got a European and a Japanese physical release.
Oh, well, I managed to snag this at a video game convention. I guess it was custom made.
Oh, I see. It's a bootleg. You can't review a bootleg.
Well, it's not like I have a Mega Drive now, do I? Besides, how did you Let's Play the game on your Let's Play channel, huh?
You win this round, John.
Ha! That makes 2. Classic City Escape, and now this.
Oh, you're still proud of City Escape? Gee, I seem to remember that I destroyed every other record of yours in that game, and I—
Sorry, can't hear you. Plug the game in. This won't be very long. Mega Man The Wily Wars is pretty much a remake of the first 3 Mega Man titles for the Sega Genesis. Like Clement established earlier, it only saw a physical release in Japan and Europe. The only way Americans could play it was through the Sega Channel, an add-on for both your Sega Genesis and cable box. It was a subscription service that allowed consumers to download games, learn some tips and tricks, and other things that a kid could enjoy, while their parents were stuck with a monthly bill. Mega Man The Wily Wars was one of those games you can download, and to this day, has not seen another means of purchase for American gamers. Now you understand why I have no problem using this glorified bootleg as a means to look at it. Think of it like Super Mario All-Stars only with Mega Man. Each game was given a 16-bit upgrade in terms of graphics and sound, and it also came equipped with a save feature, so you no longer have to rely on passwords for the likes of Mega Man 2 and 3, or worry about completing Mega Man 1 in a single sitting.
Mega Man The Wily Wars is probably not the ideal way of playing the original trilogy. The game has a few issues that some fans might not appreciate. The 8-bit music has been updated with Sega Genesis instruments, and I feel most songs are inferior to the original, but I do love me some Top Man. Mega Man 2 doesn't have an easier difficulty. You can only play the game in what we know as difficult mode, meaning Metal Man will not be killed in 1 hit by the Metal Blade. Now it's 2 hits. Oh god!
The horror. The game has slowdown issues when too many things are happening on screen. Look at the fight with the Yellow Devil in Mega Man 1 for example. Granted, that's not necessarily a bad thing in my books in this case, but I know slowdown isn't exactly appealing or nice to look at for some.
The game slows down a lot from my experience, and it makes certain fights feel really easy or awkward to handle. But all this being said though, I do think it's worth checking out. If you ever wanted to see the original trilogy in 16-bit, there are worse ports. This isn't like it's Mega Man X on iOS.
Don't remind me.
And of course, there's Wily Tower, which opens up once you complete all 3 Mega Man games in 1 save file. One of the coolest modes ever, where you get to mix and match every weapon and special item from the past 3 games.
Holy shit, the unthinkable combinations. Access to both Rush Jet and the Magnet Beam? God damn. Wily Tower isn't very long, and depending on what weapons you bring, can be painfully easy. With the right weapon and tool combinations, you can probably beat this mode in about 30 minutes flat.
I've always loved the idea of having over 18 powers at my disposal, as well as the magnet beam, items, and rush abilities. You can experiment so many weapons on the bosses who have numerous weaknesses to account for those powers, and the soundtrack is great! Wily Forest theme might be the most underrated Wily theme in the whole entire series, but that's probably because most Mega Man fans haven't played this game. I would love to play a Mega Man game that tried to be more like Wily Tower. It's the best mode and the best way to end a playthrough of all 3 games. The Wily Wars isn't perfect, but if you're a Mega Man fan, it's definitely worth checking out.
I agree. I would love to see a Mega Man game much like Wily Tower, where you have access to so many weapons and options to complete a stage. Mega Man The Wily Wars may not be the end-all be-all method of playing the original 3 Mega Man games, but it's something hardcore Mega Man fans should definitely consider adding to their collection. Back to Mega Man 3, with the exception of the Doc Robot segments, I had a really good time playing this one. The addition of Rush and the slide ability really makes this game feel like more than just an average sequel. As a matter of fact, I consider this to be right up there with the likes of Mega Man 2. I may not enjoy the whole Doc Robot element, but I don't feel that's enough to bring the entire game down. Well-designed levels, fun to use power-ups and abilities, this is a game I feel any fan of run-and-gun platformers should play.
Mega Man 3 is a very memorable Mega Man game. It introduced the slide, Mega Man's faithful companion Rush, and the mysterious Protoman. I think the soundtrack is great, and I love the Robot Masters, even if I don't think all the weapons are that great. The game is still challenging, but never unfair, and I generally like it. The only thing that holds it back for me are the Doc Robot stages. I have had tons of playthroughs where I would beat the first 8 Robot Masters, then put in a password to skip to Wily's castle. But other than those 4 levels, and Wily forgetting to put away his E-tanks when you visit his castle, it's a good game. I can see why many consider it the best in the series. Not my favorite, or even in my top 3, but I like it a lot.
Wow, that last bit felt a bit redundant, but I am glad I was able to experience this game. And Clement, thank you. Motherfucker! I'll see you guys from Mega Man 4 and 5.
Oh, you will rue the day you defeated me in City Escape, Johnny. I will have my revenge. I'll be back. You'll see.
This is actually the first time I've fully completed the game for this review, so I'm curious to see how... That's when the video call comes in. It's like, what's that? I like how you react to that. It's like, ninjas?
I didn't know you were going to do that. Like, looking back, I'm like, what happened?
No, that's the point where I get interrupted.
Oh, yeah, I figured that out now.
A bomb?